Well, howdy y'all. Welcome to a rare indoors video from me. Usually I'm outdoors doing all sorts of photography antics out around Rochester and Zion, but today kind of stuck at home, unfortunately. I guess not stuck, but yesterday I hit a pothole with a car that kind of created a humming noise coming from one of the wheels, so got to get that checked out and see how much that's going to cost. Well, great way to ring in the new year. But essentially, also a great way to ring in the new year is actually revisiting my book, Heal, which came out a couple of years ago. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do this, kind of go through the bookmaking process, the publishing process, the making profit process, the shipping process. A lot of processes. I hope you enjoy this one. Yeah, let's get going. Yeah, so a little bit of background on me. I'm a photographer out of southern Utah, originally from Las Vegas, Nevada, but moved to Cedar City, Utah when I was about 10. Cedar City is about 45 minutes north of Zion, so pretty amazing little area out there. You got like 5 national parks all within like 2-3 hours, so pretty cool. But right now I reside in Rochester, New York with my partner Tessa and our cute little teeny tiny baby kitty cat Scout. Tessa's getting her PhD out here, and soon we'll be back to southern Utah and having fun out there. Now, Heal kind of chronicles my struggles with depression and suicidal ideation from about 2019 to 2020. Back then, I just wasn't doing well. I had moved back from Washington, D.C. at the time, and just kind of struggling with the idea of failure and failing in my life and not really having an identity and not really having any independence. So when I got back to Cedar City, I needed to find an outlet for that. Wasn't much of a photographer before then, but I soon started exploring Zion almost every single day. And when I wasn't exploring Zion every single day, I was kind of exploring the southern Utah area every single day. And over time, I learned photography through the park and ultimately became healed by the situation, i.e. the title. And I started doing a lot of work on Instagram. So I would just kind of share photos and the context with those photos. And I started to make a website, started to like get my prints up in the shop, or because I say shop because my family owned a coffee shop in Cedar City, Utah as well. So it was kind of like a local gallery, I guess, to show off my work, which was easy for me. I mean, obviously. But I got a pretty cool job with the tourism board, getting my prints, or my images printed up, like 6-foot tall prints on the airport wall. So something was happening, but ultimately I was just getting out, exploring, doing photography, and eventually that came to an end. Had to come here to Rochester. Not had to. I mean, obviously I do love my partner Tessa and love being here, and it's been a wonderful experience. And but since moving here back in 2021, my family wanted to not necessarily gift me, but I guess give me the opportunity of a physical version of my work. Because again, all my stuff was just going to be on Instagram and my website and whatnot. So I really didn't have like a physical representation like a book. I mean, I did prints and whatnot, but a book was something that was going to be kind of a bit bigger. But yeah, I'm so grateful for my family for allowing me to have this opportunity and really foot the bill for something that might have not paid off, but luckily it did pay off in time. And it really paid off thanks to one real, very specific instance that occurred, which we'll get into. But yeah, back in 2021, I think it was about the summer of 2021, I reached out on Instagram, kind of threw a story up just asking for like, how do I get in the bookmaking process? How do I find a publisher? Who should I go to? What are your recommendations? And a phenomenal wildlife photographer named Richard Burnaby reached out to me just out of nowhere, and then suggested Jerry Greer, who's just an incredible photographer out of Johnson City, Tennessee. His work on Appalachia is just absolutely phenomenal. So highly recommend checking out his work and Richard's work as well. But yeah, told me to reach out to Jerry. Like just a seamless process of getting into this was just giving Jerry a call. But yeah, it was the communication with Jerry that was just phenomenal. I could call him up at any time of day or any time of night and ask him about book stuff and, you know, just emails back and forth. It was such a great communication process that I appreciated so much. But essentially we had to get into the nitty-gritty InDesign things, so Adobe InDesign essentially, which is a very interesting application that I never actually used from Adobe. And essentially I just had to basically make my book in that. Luckily, Jerry gave me a good template to start from because I was really struggling with trying to make sense of how to use this program. So grateful to Jerry for that one. Now, for those of you that have my book or have seen my book, this is not the correct color of my book, but this is actually the first color that we tried for the cover, which was a little much, I gotta say, and really didn't fit with the theme of Zion. Yeah, it was so blue, and then actually I don't know if you can see that, text was just really just bold and powerful, and I just wasn't fully into it. So essentially we moved on from this, and we actually introduced new colors. So this is kind of more of a sandstone type color, and what this is printed on is actually known as G-Mund canvas paper. But yeah, so this G-Mund canvas really did fit the bill a little bit better than that blue. You know, it's more of that sandstone toned. We didn't actually go with this material because of some situation that caused it to not work out. I think there was some ripping or some tearings or something, which was a little unfortunate because I really loved this color. But we actually created a full-on kind of cover-to-cover book version of this. And this cover-to-cover book version kind of came such like this. So we actually have the heron on front, which will make way more sense when I actually read some of the stories, or if you've read this book, it makes a lot more sense. We eventually got to the kind of like nice lowercase version of heel and my name as well on the side, so it was looking good. We went for this embossed look. You probably can't see it too well, but very nice embossed look, and it was really coming together. But unfortunately, in this process, something was just not working out too well, so we had to kind of move and pivot from that. What was called I believe they're called signatures, I think. Essentially, these are like the proofs of the book. Tons of giant pages and whatnot. They have like the colorings on the side as well. I guess I really wish I knew more about this process, but man, it was flying by. Even though it did take a year, it did fly by. But you had your proofs, essentially. And then once you were done with the proofs, we moved on to what's within here, which are the F and Gs, or what I believe are called folded and gathered. So essentially, it's basically like those proofs, but these are like, I had to sign off on those. And then you get this almost like 4-page little mini booklets, almost like little tiny zines within the book that are then bound to the actual spine. So kind of cool. But unfortunately, that G-Mund cover, which did look quite nice, did not work out, which is not the end of the world. I'm actually glad that this didn't work out for me, because we kind of got to the canvas version of the book, which is this right here. Just a much better coloring to it, in my opinion. Really good texture to it, absolutely beautiful. This one had like this was just a quick, because the G-Mund didn't work out, we had to do a quick little canvas trial run on this, and I picked this color specifically because I liked how it matched kind of like the Zion sandstone. But yeah, it was kind of the start of the book becoming almost officially done. And then came the official book, which I'm super proud of. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful book. Again, it's probably a little out of frame, sorry, because I'm just stacking things on one another. But absolutely love the emboss there. Great, rich sandstone color. Just a beautiful, absolutely beautiful book. This is one of the, this one got hurt in shipping a little bit, so that's why I'm kind of using it as a display right now. But yeah, I just absolutely love a lot of the images that come through here and how they came across, and it's just, it really is nice. Oh, love this book. Now, the book was printed in South Korea, so it does take some time to get over here. We had 2 pallets of books. I did an edition of 1,000. So 2 pallets of books had to come across the sea and arrive in Cedar City, Utah, for my parents to kind of ship me over cases, essentially. Now at that point I started taking pre-orders and kind of got into the thralls of shipping these books to people, which was a bit interesting. So kind of how I when I started shipping these books, I did it where essentially I would take the book and I would wrap it in bubble wrap, so much bubble wrap that it would fit in a medium-sized USPS box. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. If you bought my book, you definitely saw one of those, and you're from the States, I should say. But yeah, I would wrap it in so much bubble wrap, and a friend of Tess and mine's actually said that it was wrapped like a cocaine brick, which was kind of funny. Now, I remember Eric Bennett was one of the first people to actually pre-order and actually get my book, so grateful for him. He's a phenomenal photographer, such an amazing guy, amazing photographer, and he actually sent me some constructive criticism on the, I guess I shouldn't say criticism, feedback on the way I kind of wrapped these books, and just saying, you know, with his book he did media mail and whatnot, and you know, he's never really had a damaged copy, so that the bubble wrap probably wasn't that necessary. But then I had another friend actually reach out after she got the book and said it actually survived the Florida hurricane that was going on, or something like a typhoon that was going on, tropical storm. And if it wasn't for the bubble wrap, that book would have been ruined. So it's a kind of a give and a take. Yeah, so pre-orders were fulfilled by me and Tessa. We actually spent like a whole day in this room just putting books in boxes, and it took forever. But yeah, it was pretty awesome to see that kind of work. You know, while it was doing well, the book really wasn't selling to its fullest extent of what I imagined. Now, it wasn't until I reached out to the Design Forever project, and I actually reached out to an old high school friend of mine, Wyatt Larson, who was a brand strategist for the Design Forever project. Also an amazingly incredible photographer and a great guy, and I'm so grateful that he actually listened and showed this off to the project. And eventually they actually bought almost 300 copies of this book to gift to their staff for getting through the COVID pandemic, which was just, it's an incredible thing. The original reason of why they kind of went this gifting route is because they weren't quite sure that it could do so well in the retail setting, which completely understand, of course, but it was still really cool to actually, I don't know, share this with almost 300 of the staff that take care of the place I love most. But yeah, eventually we made profit off of that order from Design Forever project. I was able to hand deliver the books all signed and everything like that. My hand was aching from that for sure. But it was just an incredible experience. And now for the future, I think we're going to hopefully get a second book out. I've already been thinking about it. And as much as I absolutely love the images and work that I've done in my first book, I just think my second book would just be just another level for sure. It's funny, actually. My second book would actually be very similar to this color of kind of that test cover that we did. It would probably be a more muted blue for sure, but essentially it'd be kind of that kind of more tealish light blue, and it would probably have the emboss of a leaf on it, probably an oak leaf, something very similar to my image special, which is kind of one of my more famous images, I guess. And I would do an embossed leaf on there, and I'd probably do a gold outline on the leaf too. It'd be absolutely beautiful, I think. But the title of that book would be called Here, which would be kind of chronicling my trips that I've been making to Zion in fall and winter, and would actually include a lot of images from Rochester as well. So here's hoping for the future. We'll see. Again, it's a heavy-duty financial burden to do a book like this, so we'll see if I can do it a second time, maybe a third time. I'm just really excited to get images out in physical form, so we'll see. I'm gunning for it. We'll see. Well, I hope you all enjoyed that little peek behind the curtain of the bookmaking process, the publishing process, the shipping, publishing, everything about a book process with my book Heal here. Yeah, I'm extremely proud of this book, even though I really don't deal very well with accomplishment, and will really accept accomplishment very well. I'm very proud of this book and proud of the work that I've done, and I'm very glad that I got into a physical form. And I think it's extremely rewarding for any photographer to get their work out in physical form, whether that be prints or a book or a zine. Just sharing your work in a very tangible form is it's amazing. It really is an amazing process to do this. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Again, like, comment, subscribe. I'll leave a little link to Heal in the description. So if you want to peruse my website, peruse kind of the product page for Heal, or hey, maybe even buy a copy, that'll be down there for you. Thanks for watching, y'all. Appreciate you.